there, it's Krislyn Mattei, and I'm a Creative Memories Advisor and Content Contributor from Duluth, Minnesota. Today I'd like to share with you a quick and easy gift album idea. I created this 8x8 recipe, if you will, 3 or 4 years ago. And it's been one I've turned to again and again whenever I've wanted to make a little gift album for someone. The method works well with any collection. You just need 6 sheets of designer paper, or half a pack, and the coordinating stickers. Today I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is using the new Spring Cottage collection. This collection will be perfect for Mother's or Father's Day gift albums and for coffee table sized albums of the cabin or weekend fishing trips or maybe even your garden blooms. So besides the paper and stickers, we'll also need an 8x8 album cover and pages, the 12-inch trimmer, the border maker system, and 4 or 5 of your favorite cartridges, tape runner and repositionable tape runner, and foam squares and a pen perhaps, and of course photos. So to begin with, I'm just going to follow this cutting guide to cut all 6 of my papers, and I'll show you just how easy this is. So I'm just going to begin with the top paper on this pile. And what you want to do is kind of look at both sides of the paper and kind of decide what you might want to do with this one. We're just going to follow the cutting guide, and it shows that we are first going to cut this 8-inch, cut it at the 8-inch mark, and then again at the 8-inch mark, leaving us with one large 8x8-inch piece. So we'll go ahead and do that, cut at the 8-inch mark, and then flip it and cut again at 8 inches. And we'll set these 2 pieces aside for now. So 8 and a 4x8 piece. And then we'll take this piece, and we have a choice. We can cut 4-inch pieces. So we'd have 3 4x4-inch squares, or we can cut 1 4x4-inch square and leave the rest large. So if you're not sure, you might want to just go ahead and leave that last piece alone. You can always cut it down into squares later, and then you can just kind of add these to your pile. So you've got these pieces that you'll set aside for later, and then you're going to go ahead and work with this piece. So this 8x8-inch piece is one that we will use. We'll first punch. We're gonna punch a few times with the border maker, and then there'll be a little bit left over that we'll just cut into strips. So it's kind of nice to just ahead of time pick a few cartridges that you really like, that kind of go with the theme that you're going for. And if you've got a good stash of these, you probably have quite a few to choose from. I've chosen 4 that are available currently, and all really cute, and I think they'll work really well with this collection. So I'm going to go ahead and place my paper in the border maker. Now again, if you're new to this, you're just going to open up this bottom tray, lift the magnetic lid there, and snap it into place, and then you'll place this back behind. Now your paper is in the perfect position to punch your shapes. So go ahead and select a cartridge, snap it into the housing unit, and then you'll just slide it in, and you'll make sure that the notches line up and it locks in place a little bit, and go ahead and punch. And then you'll just move along to the next spot, lock it in, and punch. Okay, so we've got one piece that we've cut with this, and we'll set that aside, and we'll go ahead and select a different punch, and we'll punch again. And this one is the climbing vine I love this one too. This will be perfect. All right, let's move along to the bridge cartridge. And so for the ones that are not chain, meaning these two punched all the way out, and this one will stay attached to the trimmer. I'll just show you what we're going to do there in a moment. So I've punched on this side and it stayed attached. I'm just going to go ahead and punch the other side with the cloud cartridge. And then we'll trim them both off at the same time. Okay, so this is what we're left with now, and I'm going to go ahead and bring my trimmer back. And now we just want to cut, maybe you have to decide what you think that you'd like on this. I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to take the tallest of my clouds right along about the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to cut that off there. And I'm going to do the same with the bridge, right about at 1 inch, and cut it off. So now we have 4 borders that we've created using that 8 by 8 inch square. And we have about 3.5 inches left. And at this point, you know, you could decide to maybe punch one more time. I think I'm just going to cut this into strips at this point. So we have, I think I'm going to cut at the 3 inch mark and just cut that little almost half inch piece off. So I'll have 1 small strip, and then I'm going to cut 2 1.5 inch strips. It really doesn't matter. You will be able to use all of these pieces, and you can just see, you know, between the front and back sides, we have lots of decorative options. Just offhand, if I was using only this piece, I could see perhaps placing my clouds on here, and that would be a border along the top. I could place my vine along this and have it going lengthwise. So you get the idea. There are so many ways you can play with these pieces, and once you get all of your 6 papers cut, you will have many, many more options. So let me just cut one more piece so you can see one more time how this all works. This time I will cut the green piece. So again, we want to cut at 8 inches. And again at 8 inches. This piece we set aside, and this is the piece we'll punch. And then I'm going to go ahead on this one and I'm going to cut 3 4-inch squares. And again, all of these then can be set aside for later. And then we have our 8 by 8 inch piece. And with this piece, since it's that delightful green that will work well with leaves, I am definitely going to cut a couple of climbing vines. Whatever decisions you make on which things you want to punch, it'll all turn out, I promise. You'll have just what you need. Okay, and now We have a piece left that is about 3 3/4. So I'm again going to cut it down to 3. And I'll have a 3/4 inch strip and then 1 1/2. And we will set all of these pieces aside. So continue doing this process with all 6 of your papers, and then we'll put it all together. Okay, so if you'd like to use some 8x8 pieces to cover your whole page once in a while, you might want to also use the other half of your paper pack. That way you'll have several full-size 8x8 sheets and more photo mats to use as well. So if you want to do this, just cut your pieces following the cutting guide, just as you did before, only you will leave this 8x8 section alone. You won't punch anything out of it, you'll just leave it whole. And then you can cut these other pieces as well, and you'll have more photo mat opportunities for your layouts. So if you think you want a few more options like that, go ahead and use the other half of the paper pack. So just to give you an idea, this is kind of the fun part now when we get to put it all together. We take all of our pieces that we've punched and all the strips and all the mats, and we put it together. So if you wanted to use, say, a full sheet once in a while just to kind of add more color to your album pages, you could do something like that. Maybe bring a little bit more of that blue sky paper over here, and maybe we'll put some clouds up there. You know, you really can just play around and come up with different scenarios. And then, of course, your photos, your journaling can all go on here as well. So just play around and kind of come up with some layouts that you like. Here's another idea. Let's try let's try using some of this cool log cabin looking paper, and we'll bring in one of these, and maybe I'll put this over here. You just see that there's really no wrong way to do this. It's going to look great. It is going to look great. Just keep playing around and you'll find lots of combinations that will work just fine. So I really hope that you've enjoyed this and that you can use these layouts. And I hope that you can use them to inspire some of your own layouts for 8x8s, and that you enjoy putting these little albums together. They're so much fun. You might love yours so much that you have a hard time giving it away. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks so much for watching.